guys, welcome back to Campbell's Freedom Farm. As you can see, we have our pepper plant, but this will only be the first pepper plant. There are many more to come in this video. We have such a variety. But first I have to say, it feels like just yesterday we were planting these and they were itty bitty babies, as you could see previously in the videos. And now they're ready to be harvested, which is great, but it always makes you sad that it means summer is almost over. But I will say, you do want to harvest these, even though this ornamental purple is gorgeous to look at, for two reasons. One, at some point they're just going to die, well, we don't have an example, but I'm sure this has happened. And the other is if we cut them all now, we'll get a second harvest of them. So we have to do this. So let's talk about, what do you do with them after you cut them? Now, we can't just eat these all in one day. I think our stomachs might hurt. So we have a few options. The first is plastic bags. You could use these from the store. You could use reusable plastic bags. Actually, a lot of times we do try to reuse these if we choose to freeze them. Okay, now for the freezer, you could use containers. I'll show you that in the next part. The only downside of containers is for us is there's always so much in the freezer, and they always make freezers smaller than refrigerators, so it's really hard to fit them in there. If you don't use a lot, containers are great. For us, it just doesn't work because of the size. So all we're going to do is you could pick them, we're going to cut them, and we're going to go ahead and fill up these purple ones first. And I'm going to show you what to do because you want to make sure there's no air in them. And this is the first method of saving our peppers. Alright, so we got all of these in here just from this one plant. There's so much. Okay, we had some of these that they set on too long. So you can either just dry these either in the hot sun, on a dehydrator, but we're going to get to that a little bit more later. But these we'll probably just use in today's dishes, whatever we're cooking. So we'll set those on the side. Okay, for these, the important thing is you want to get all the air out. Now they have all those fancy machines that help you get the air out of the bags, and that's great. If you have that, use it. But basically you want to roll it up. If it had been smaller, almost roll it like a cigar would be the example to use. This is the trickiest part, I would say, making sure to get all of that air out. You can double bag it. It doesn't have to be in one of these bags, just any bags that you have. The first set's done. And then we'll just throw this into the freezer. I will say one thing that is helpful is to write the date on here. So that way then you know when you put it in there. And then whenever I want one, I'm not going to open it up, just pull it out, grab one and use it. They're delicious. They actually taste really good for peppers. I'm amazed how good they taste. You can even grind them up for the habanero and not use the whole thing if you don't want too much spice, but you want a little bit. But for this is different. You want to just use the whole thing. Now we're on to our next one, these really cute little peppers. So I don't want to freeze these today. I actually want to use these. So some of the ways that you can use these is as a garnish. You just sprinkle them on like little pepper flakes, but instead these look really cute. In the South, they do the southern omelet and also corn. You can just put them in there with your corn and saute them and then have it for your tacos. It's really tasty. And then another one is sometimes people like to put these with their pasta. Okay, so since these are the containers that I would freeze them, if you have enough room, it's perfect, or depending on the size even. But today I actually want to use these. So I'm going to just set them in here, and any of the rest that I don't want to use, I'm going to go ahead and freeze them as well. That way I can pull them out just as a garnish. Some of these just fall right off, and other ones you have to cut. But when you're on camera, they make you cut them. So we're going to go ahead and just fill all of these up, and these were definitely ready to be picked. We have all of these in the container, and we probably will freeze some of these. I will tell you, these, and along with the purple, are considered ornamental. But what's great is many of them actually either taste good, and they're just really pretty out there. And for this one, it's just hot. It packs that punch in them, but it's great. You only have to use one or two, depends on your spice level, and that's it. And this is why they put them in the corn and put them on their tacos, and then or the beans, even just beans and rice, and it really packs that punch. Now the next one that I want to talk about is this pepper. Now this one is the Paprika, and I'm pretty sure I really just butchered that name, but as you can see it right here. So this one doesn't produce as many, but they're really pretty peppers. We've actually been saving this for the video just to show you guys before we eat it. So they're the super vibrant pepper. And this, we're not going to freeze, and we're not going to cut it, we're not going to dry it. We're going to eat this actually just today. So this is perfect. It's almost like as a paprika style pepper. And we're gonna go ahead and try this out. And it's really, I think this is one of the more unique, pretty peppers that we have. And I'm gonna put this in with this container because we're going to use this either today or the next day. So let's move on to the next pepper. I just wanted to tell you, these are sweet with a touch of heat, so that's perfect. This might be good just to pick up and just cut in slices and eat. Okay, so then the last one that we have here, so you can see this is a smaller pot, and it still does pretty well. So we're gonna cut all these up. These, we'll go ahead and probably just either eat these or freeze. So now we're on to our Thai chili, and of course you can see the sun's coming up on us. So these are ones that we really want to pickle. This is the second option. We've gone over freezing as a method to preserve them. And now let's talk about the pickling. So pickling is definitely an older method compared to freezing. Both great though. Both can have equal benefits. So we're gonna put them in our jar, which is great. It's got the lid, you know, those mason jars. They're really perfect to use. You know, a funny thing is I think the mason name was actually patented only till like 1869, but they still use the name. We read about that the other day. All right, so we're gonna continue just picking these, putting them in a jar, but I do wanna share one more. These are great for drying. This is a third option as well. But for this, we're mostly focusing on the pickle, but it's another option to dry. And you can either dry them at the, stepping back, we have our habanero. These are nice and beautiful. You can also mix and pickle these too. You could freeze them too, but pickling is definitely really delicious for these ones. And what's great with these is you can add all of your wonderful herbs with these. You have thyme, basil, maybe rosemary. All of these you can put in there, and it's great. So if you have your herbs, it really adds a wonderful smell, but a taste, and they're delicious. Even garlic, you can put garlic in here as well. All right, so now we're on to our bishop's crown. These, I think, to me, are a very unique and cute pepper. So, two options. We love to grill them. They're delicious just right on the grill. You can just eat them. They're even good just eating them like this. But another thing is, you can dry them, similar to the poblano pepper that you get and are stuffed with all the different, like tomatoes or even cheese. So we could dry these, then dehydrate them to rehydrate them, and then stuff them. This is perfect. Or if you just want to stuff them right now, you can put all of your different stuffings in there, either bake them or grill them, and they're really delicious. These are definitely one of the more unique and tasty peppers to eat. And they're not spicy. They're sweet. You would think they would be spicy, but they're sweet, so it's perfect. So these are those. All right, let's move on to the next. We're ending here. Let me show you one of the red peppers. This would be great to pickle as well. So we'll drop that right in here. And these are the in-ground peppers. And I think what's great is there were all these fond memories of seeing them grow from such a small plant or even a seedling all the way to what they are now. And really, you just want to make sure you pick them all. That way you get a second harvest. And I want to say one of the fondest memories is growing up, we had the log cabin. And you could cut the peppers, like almost the whole thing, and you hung it on the wall, well really the logs technically, and they looked beautiful just hanging there. They don't look that same way in a modern house though, that has a more character in the older log cabins. So these are the last peppers that are in ground, and stay tuned for the next videos on how to dry herbs. But not the next videos, but a video coming up pretty soon on drying all of your herbs. So please subscribe, like, and share.